Guarantee you, they're promoting black serial killing.
Back then, being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
It'll make you cry if you really love music.
Kanye West is back in the headlines, and it seems he might have just exposed some of the entertainment industry's deepest, darkest secrets. Secrets that have now been confirmed by other sources. Looking at his history of controversies, I never thought I'd say this, but Kanye was right about Hollywood all along. Not only are black rappers getting sacrificed by their labels, people are doing much worse in their pursuit for success. But just how deep does it really run?
It's opportunistic. Yeah, I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
The recent confirmation from company executives is further substantiating Kanye's accusations, leaving little room for doubt. The rampant drug use and violence in the music industry, particularly in the black music industry, has been exposed to be serving the interest of these labels. The revelation raises the question of how these labels benefit from endangering their own artists. It is time to unravel the dark truths that have been concealed for far too long in the industry.
Right now, if you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you, they're promoting black serial killing.
Kanye has been unfairly labeled as a lunatic in the past due to his unconventional views and theories about the music industry. He had been warning about the industry's ill intentions towards black artists, but nobody took him seriously. However, now that industry executives are openly acknowledging and confirming his allegations, it's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss his claims as baseless. But the thing is, Kanye's concerns are not baseless. There has been a disturbing trend of violent and deadly attacks on black artists and rappers. It's hard to believe that these incidents have no connection to the culture being propagated through their music.
Period. The industry's obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people. But they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it.
The record labels that promote this culture bear some responsibility for these tragedies. By encouraging young black men to glorify drugs and violence, they are profiting off of a dangerous and harmful lifestyle.
Not just one. They're promoting black. The red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic.
Kanye is shining a light on a truth that many others have been too afraid to speak about. The media is profiting off the danger and risk that black rappers are being exposed to. Despite the countless murders and deaths of artists, violent behavior continues to be promoted through black music. Rap music is not just a simple combination of words and beats. Like any other form of music, it has the ability to influence and shape society. So when black rappers portray women as disposable objects meant only for men's abusive pleasure and promote the idea that being cold-blooded and unfeeling is cool, this behavior is learned and normalized by society. The portrayal of black people in the media is causing the most harm to the black community. Unfortunately, it seems that record labels are actually encouraging this harmful behavior. When black artists promote drugs and violence, it generates controversy and makes them more noticeable, which helps the labels get exposure. However, this ploy not only harms the artist's reputation but also encourages the use of drugs and guns in the black community. It's a vicious cycle that needs to be broken. People from inside the industry are finally speaking up. Listen to what Dame Dash has to say about black artists selling their souls to the labels.
I never do, I sign you, I own you. I don't do that. The mentality doesn't sound right. People accepting that doesn't sound right. People being proud of that doesn't sound right.
Black rappers and musicians have long been stereotyped as drug and gun users. Shockingly, it appears that these stereotypes have been perpetuated by their own record labels, putting the artists' lives at risk for the sake of profit. The labels exert significant control over the artist's music and lifestyle, leaving them with little say in the matter as they are essentially owned by the label. If you're skeptical about the connection between black music and violence, consider the emergence of drill rap, a genre that originated in Chicago. Drill lyrics often glorify killing and violence against other young black men, known as ops. This music is intentionally gritty and violent. Tragically, some drill rappers, like T.Wu, have lost their lives as a result of this dangerous culture.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive.
One of the earliest instances of violence in black music was the tragic murder of Biggie Smalls by his own friend and founder of his record label, Diddy. Biggie was a cultural icon who had captured the hearts of fans around the world, but his life was cut short in 1997 in a brutal killing. Diddy, realizing he could make more money if he sacrificed his friend, is believed to have played a role in Biggie's death. To this day, Diddy continues to profit from Biggie's music. As it would appear, Biggie wasn't the only person he wanted out of his way. He allegedly also had a hand in the death of one of the greatest black rappers of all times, Tupac.
Something gotta change. I don't give a if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail. Something's gotta change.
Diddy still profits from the albums that feature Biggie's recordings because he retained the rights to them. Given that Biggie intended to leave his label, it's reasonable to speculate about Diddy's motives for killing him. This incident established a precedent of viewing black artists as expendable resources for the financial gain of record labels. Rewritten, other than Biggie, many other rappers have faced a similar fate. Not too long ago, we witnessed a similar incident with XXXTentacion, a rising hip-hop star who was brutally shot outside a motorcycle shop in South Florida. His music and public image were filled with controversy, violence, and misogyny. Prior to that, he had been arrested for various charges including robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and home invasion. Furthermore, he was accused by his then-girlfriend of assault and charged with aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and witness tampering. Despite pleading not guilty in December 2017, he was placed under house arrest. You would normally think being famous would at least exempt rappers from being exploited, but boy were we wrong.
About fame, and one thing about when you have money, you don't really know people have evil intentions around you, like evil intentions.
Even Cardi B has been having trouble coming to terms with the reality of the industry. For most black rappers, everyone around them is seemingly trying to take advantage of them one way or the other.
Do you feel that you're happier right now than when you were broke, or not really?
Sometimes. It's a sometime thing. Like, you know, it makes me happy. It makes me happy that I'm able to afford what I want, and it makes me happy that I get to treat my family. But I feel like the way that I have money.
It may seem that money and material possessions would bring happiness and fulfillment to these rappers, but it's difficult to feel fulfilled when others make all the important decisions for you and prioritize their own benefit over yours. In response to the broad daylight murder of fellow rapper PNB Rock, Nicki Minaj spoke out about the escalating violence against black rappers, stating the people around these rappers gain so much. It's time to start really reminding them over and over. At least try to put your foot down if you care. Tell them you're not loved like you think you are. You're prey in a world full of predators. What's not clicking? There have been a few rappers who have been vocal about their opposition to gun violence and gang culture. One such rapper was Nipsey Hussle, who was known for his efforts to make positive changes in his community. He spoke out against rappers who glorified gang affiliations just to appear cool or impressive. Tragically, Nipsey Hussle was murdered, but his legacy lives on. In fact, his last tweet before his untimely death was a quote that read, "Having strong enemies is a blessing." Not long after, however, this blessing quickly turned sour, and some would even describe it a curse, because despite his position against violence and gangs, he suffered a similar fate. Even last year, the music community suffered a huge loss when famous rapper Takeoff was killed in a shooting. It was a horrible shock to everyone. The mayor of Houston said too many young men of color are killing each other, resolving their disputes by pulling their guns and shooting one another regardless of fame or fortune. Crazy, and in a few seconds a life is gone, families and friends are left grieving. Stopping. The death of the rapper was another tragic example of the pervasive violence that is intertwined with black music culture. Despite the ongoing loss of black artists due to violence, many continue to include themes of drugs, gun violence, and gang culture in their music. Jeremy Hill, a journalist who's been writing about Takeoff's death, had similar views and wrote, "I was in college when Biggie and Pac were killed and thought there was no way we'd ever experience anything remotely close to that again. Now it's happening so frequently that you barely have time to recover before someone else killed. R.I.P. Takeoff."
These people are only here to destroy, steal, and kill. That's why we need to be awake, ladies and gentlemen.
The portrayal of black people as violent and misogynistic has deep roots in racism that has been pervasive for decades. Despite suffering violence from both white and black individuals, black people have been disproportionately perceived as dangerous. However, there are signs of progress and a growing recognition of black people as victims of violence, as more people are beginning to view the world from their perspective.
Making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup, and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
It is crucial for people to recognize the perilous agenda that plagues the black music industry. Kanye West's concerns were not unfounded. Black artists continue to experience violence and face constant threats to their lives. A viable solution to this issue would be to eliminate the promotion of drug and violence culture in black music. From the looks of things now, it seems people might finally be catching on to how record labels have been reaping benefits from young black rappers losing their lives to violence. One person on Twitter wrote, "There's at least 7 rappers signed to Empire Distribution, founded by Ghazi Shami, who were murdered. It's spooky how these black men get sacrificed to enrich others." Black people love to talk about systemic racism without saying names. I just gave you a few. Grow some bales. Other fans seem to believe it is all part of a plot to prevent black people from excelling. One person in particular revealed that leaders of black communities keep dying so that black people will never succeed. He said, "It's crazy that I'm actually living things like unsolved murders of our black rappers that was trying to motivate and elevate our people. Like, I really watch documentaries about stuff like this. This is crazy. They don't want to see us win a far, so they take down our leaders one by one." Although there is much work ahead to eliminate violence and drug culture from black music, the acknowledgement that Kanye's concerns were valid marks a significant initial stride towards progress. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.